that new piece of track. Perfect. Hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. Back on the Märklin Railway. So had to take the board down. I had it set up in the garden, had to take it down. So first job today is to put the second layer back on. Then a couple of things I want to try. I want to see what's happening with this fallow roadway here. Try one of the cars on there and see if that's got any mileage in see if it's got any mileage in actually working. Then with the second layer back on there, I've got some covers which need to be finished to sit on these corners. I'll show you those in a moment, and then just basically start laying out the buildings and looking at whether I'm going to put some lighting on the layout. Not sure yet what I'm going to do, but as I say, first step, let's get the second layer back in and make a start. Well, I've lifted the upper deck back on and aligned it up. First job, as I said, was these covers. Now these, I found bits of wood pre-cut in the box of bits that came with the layout, and yeah, when I lined them up, they fit absolutely perfectly in here. So you can see down the side here, all nicely flushed in. So just screwed those together, and then now it gives me, you know, a way of protecting the controllers, particularly while it's outside, but also when it goes back inside, keeping the dust off of them. So yeah, that's made a very, very neat solution. Right, so next on the agenda is the fallow roadway system. Now I've got a little coach here. So the coach itself has this little pickup on the front, as you can see, that steers the front wheels, and just a motor running all the time. And I'm just going to try and find the wire underneath the road. There it goes, and you can see it's following its way round quite successfully. Right, because I haven't screwed this down, I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on here so it clears the joint. Then it climbs the hill, and this is the point where it all goes wrong, where you can see it was obviously planned to disappear off around the layout. I've got other plans, so I'm going to just relink this across here, put a wire through here, so that instead of it going off in a loop as I think it was planned to do, it'll now just come back down the hill following this other path. So first thing I need to do is just get a chisel or something on here and uncover the existing wires, I guess. Right, so off camera all I've done is uncovered the two ends of the wire that runs under, the little metal wire that runs under, I'm not sure if I explained this, that runs underneath here, and then there's some plaster of Paris put over the top to hide it. And I've uncovered both ends of it here, and then just glued a new piece of wire in there just to link the two circuits together. Now originally this was planned to go off down the layout that way. I've got other plans now, so I've taken out the little electric stop magnets that run on here. So basically around the circuit you can put electromagnets in place that on a switch will stop the cars working. They were in place over here. You know, it's intended for the car to run off in that direction, and because I've as I say, short-circuited the circuit through there, I've taken those out. So let's pop the bus on, and I'll just trial it on that new piece of track. Perfect. It does look really superb going round. What a great invention. Well, I do have another bus that I need to charge up, check that still works. And there's another couple of cars as well that will run around on this system, so I'll give those a go at a later date. But just following it all the way round, it looks like it's going to make a full circuit, which is really good. It does look superb. So my next job, I'm just going to add some plaster of Paris over the new joint on the top corner there, and hopefully hide that and let that set overnight, and then I'll come back to this one evening in the week. Well, a couple of weeks have passed while I was on holiday, and came back a couple of days ago and found a couple of hours just to carry on with the railway. Now what I've done, just to bring you up to speed, I didn't film this bit, found a piece of wood in the shed, Cut it here, you can see the shape around here, another piece on there, just to sort of put a second level on this. I don't know what the plan was with the original layout, but I know what I want to do with this. We'll come to that in a bit. Found this other piece of wood which fits rather nicely in here. I've not screwed that down, so I've got an access panel just to get in for any locos that get stuck. Now, before anybody asks, this is a micey piece of wood that's on here. The only reason I've used that is quite simply because I had it. Didn't want to go and spend some money on a piece of wood, and yeah, this was sitting in the shed, so it's quite simple. Before somebody points out how heavy and robust that is. Now the front here, this piece of wood you see just here ran all the way across, and that stops me getting any access to the road and any access to the back of the layout. So I've actually cut that away, and as I say, just recess this back a little bit, just so that, you know, I've got some access underneath should anything get stuck. When this does go into the workshop, this far edge over here, this will be against the wall, so I won't be able to walk around the other side should anything get stuck. Now, job for today, I'm going to remove this brickwork from here because you know, it's got a bit tired over time, and create some rock faces on this area here, also down the back of the layout, just to try and yeah, hide the wood, and then we'll try and do something with this tiered section. Okay, so that's all the forms in. I've got all the rock faces that I want in there, grassy patches, built me little cutaway over the back there. So now time for a bit of texture. So I've mixed up some sand, some glue and some paint. I'm just going to put the first layer on and try and get the texture in. I've started over here, might as well show on this piece of video. You can see here, just adding this texture in, and then I'll add the colours afterwards. Well, I popped out first thing this morning to get a base coat down on the layout. As you can see, painting some areas green. All of the sort of texturing from yesterday's gone very well. Before I went in last night, I've cut this piece of board. This is just something that I had from before. That will sit in there like that, cover over that area. That needs a little bit of finishing, a little bit rough around the edges at the moment, but we'll soon make that blend. So, next step, I've got to clean out where the river that I did last night, get all the loose gravel out of there, then ready to put the liquid in that will form the water, and now onto the detailed spraying, where I can add some colours into the green and the sort of grey areas that are currently on the layout. Well, with the rock face finished, quite pleased with that. The spray paintings come out rather effective. Hopefully it comes out on the camera, but in person it looks pretty good. And yesterday evening I went to pick up some other bits from my niece and nephew, and in that there was all these buildings, so I've put these buildings on the layout. I think they're positioned quite well, which looks pretty good. There's a couple of buildings here. This came with the layout, same with this one and the station. And then finally over the back here we've got the turntable and the roundhouse that I picked up last night. So job for today, as I say, I've sort of positioned the buildings roughly where, and then the next job is to bring the track round. You see I've already started laying it up through the hill here, through the cutting, and then I need to work out what we're doing with a sort of goods yard at that end. Well, after a considerable amount of trial and error, I think I have my track laid out. So you can see it runs down to the turntable here, to the roundhouse. We've got this separate sort of siding, and then over the far side there, that track that's running along the edge, that's going to be an analogue track, just so that I can run analogue locos on the layout. The rest of it's all digital. Now, I'm not a very big fan of these cork strips, but you can see the layout has been built with them on there, and I do have some that did come with the layout, so I'm going to carry on using them, but as I say, never been a big fan of them. I have filmed a little bit of me putting the cork board down, but there's not really much to show other than putting some super glue down and then just bending it to the shape that's needed. Really pleased how the roundhouse has gone in. All the connections off of that. Obviously this is a really old roundhouse and turntable. This is from the old Märklin set, but it will connect with the track. Now whether the trains will run across it, I don't know. I'm not that worried. This is really for show. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I haven't shown you the doors on this actually. So this old school set on the back here, see this little lever here. When the trains come in, they push on this lever, and then at the other end the doors close. Great little mechanism, and hopefully I can get the turntable working. Obviously there's a motor in the hut. Haven't worked out if it's DC or AC yet, but I'll soon hook it up to something and find that out tomorrow. Next step is to do a bit of painting. I need to touch in all of this lot, paint the cork boards and paint in between to give it a sort of feel for a good yard. And yeah, then the next thing is to drill all the holes for the wires, put the lighting on, and then a lot more wiring to do. Well, after a disastrous evening where I managed to delete everything that I'd recorded throughout the day, or most of the stuff anyway, off of a memory card before I'd copied it onto the computer, I'm going to wrap this video up. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and as always, please have a look at the channel. There's lots on there, and you can see the progress, or the past progress should I say, of building this Märklin layout and my exploration into the Märklin setup on the channel. And if you can subscribe, I'd be really grateful. And with that, we'll leave this one there, and I'll just say thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.